Before we dive in, listen closely. If you've ever felt overlooked, ignored, or like your voice doesn't carry the weight it deserves, this channel is your turning point. Here on 22 Win, we don't just talk about success, we engineer it, rule by rule. So hit that subscribe button right now, because from this moment on, every video you watch will sharpen your presence, elevate your charisma, and bring you one step closer to the life you deserve. Don't just watch, join the movement. Charisma is not magic, it's not luck, and it's not something you're either born with or doomed to live without. It's a skill, one that the world's most successful leaders, entrepreneurs, and influencers secretly practice every single day. And today, I'll reveal the 20 rules of charisma that instantly attract success. If you've ever walked into a room and felt invisible, this video will flip that script. Because by the end, you won't just understand charisma, you'll own it. Imagine this: a crowded networking event. The air buzzes with chatter, people clinking glasses, laughter bouncing off the walls, dozens of faces, dozens of conversations. Yet, without warning, the entire room seems to shift. Heads turn. Eyes lock onto one person who has just walked in. They haven't even spoken a word, but somehow everyone feels it. That's charisma. And the first rule of it is this: your presence speaks before your voice does. Rule 1. Command your posture. Think of it as your silent introduction. When you walk in with shoulders rolled back, chin lifted, not arrogant, but open, you signal confidence and authority. People unconsciously mirror what they see. If you walk small, you're ignored. Walk tall, and suddenly, people take notice. Barack Obama didn't win attention on stage because of words alone. His posture carried half the weight before he even opened his mouth. Rule 2. Master the pause. The world is addicted to speed, fast speech, quick replies, rushed conversations. But charismatic people, they pause. They let silence do the heavy lifting. Imagine someone asking, "So, what do you do?" Instead of blurting out your answer, you smile, breathe, let a heartbeat of silence pass, and then you reply. That pause builds tension. It says, "My words are worth waiting for." Rule 3. Intentional eye contact. Not a piercing glare that feels like a duel, but a calm, steady gaze that lands on one person at a time. Eye contact is like Wi-Fi. When you're locked in with one person, the connection strengthens. When you scatter it too quickly, the signal weakens. The trick: hold eye contact just long enough to make someone feel chosen, then move on naturally. Rule 4. Smile with authenticity. We've all met the oversmiler, the grin plastered on like a mask. That's not charisma, that's camouflage. A charismatic smile is subtle, genuine, and born from within. It's the tiny upward curve of the lips, the slight squint of the eyes. A smile that says, "I'm glad you're here." People don't remember what you wore. They don't remember every word you said, but they will remember how your smile made them feel. These 4 rules form the foundation of silent charisma, the magnetism that pulls people toward you without uttering a single syllable. But here's the catch: sooner or later, you will have to speak. And when you do, the question becomes, how do you make your voice so captivating that people can't look away, can't stop listening, and don't want the moment to end? Your voice can either be background noise, or the sound that makes people stop and listen. Close your eyes for a moment and think about the voices that have stayed with you. Maybe it's Morgan Freeman narrating a documentary, Oprah delivering an unforgettable speech, or a teacher whose words still echo in your mind years later. Notice something: it's not just what they said, it's how they said it. Charisma isn't only visual, it lives in the voice. The tone, rhythm, and delivery can make ordinary words sound extraordinary. Rule 5. Speak with rhythm. Charismatic speakers treat words like music. They don't rattle off sentences at one flat pitch. They rise, fall, stretch, and soften. Picture Martin Luther King Jr. delivering "I have a dream." If he had rushed through those lines without rhythm, the power would have vanished. Next time you speak, imagine your words as notes in a song. Crescendos when you're excited, whispers when you want intimacy, steady beats when you need conviction. Rhythm hypnotizes. Rule 6. Tell micro stories. Facts fade, stories stick. If someone says, "I was nervous before my presentation," you might nod politely and forget in seconds. But if they say, "My palms were sweating so much, I nearly dropped the microphone," you see it, you feel it, you remember it. Charismatic people lace even casual conversations with mini stories. Every anecdote, no matter how small, paints a picture and anchors an emotion. Rule 7. Eliminate filler words. We all know them guy. The guy. The like, you know guy. Charisma demands clarity. Here's the secret. Silence is more powerful than filler. A pause isn't awkward, it's magnetic. It's the equivalent of underlining a sentence. Replace them with breath. Replace like with silence. Suddenly, you sound 10 times more confident, even if you don't feel it. Rule 8. End sentences with certainty. Too many people weaken their statements with uptalk, turning every line into a question. I think this is the right idea. It sounds unsure. Charisma is certainty, even if you're wrong. Say it like it matters. Drop your voice at the end of a sentence, not lift it. Conviction is contagious. When you sound sure, people start feeling sure even about you. The voice is where charisma turns invisible presence into audible power. It transforms curiosity into attention, and attention into trust. But here's the twist. Charisma isn't only about how you project. It's about how deeply you make others feel heard. That's where the real magic lies. People don't remember what you say, they remember how you make them feel. Here's a truth that most people miss. Charisma is not about being the loudest voice in the room or the most dazzling storyteller. True charisma lives in connection. Think back, who was the most charismatic person you've ever met? Chances are, it wasn't because they were flawless, or because they gave the best speech. It's because, for a moment, they made you feel like you mattered. That's the real magnetic force. Rule 9. Mirror energy. Have you ever tried to share exciting news with someone, only to be met with a flat, "Oh, that's cool"? It kills the vibe instantly. Charismatic people don't do that. They mirror. If you're buzzing with excitement, they match your energy. If you're nervous, they slow down and ground you. It's a dance of emotions, and when you mirror, you create instant chemistry. Rule 10. Listen with intensity. Most people listen just to wait for their turn to speak. Charismatic people flip the script. They lean in, eyebrows lifted, nodding at the right moments. They don't just hear, they absorb. Think of the last time someone truly listened to you, without glancing at their phone, without rushing you. Remember how good that felt. That's charisma at work. Rule 11. Use people's names. It's the simplest trick in the book, yet so few use it. Good job is nice. Good job, Aisha, is unforgettable. Our brains light up when we hear our own name, it's wired into us. Charismatic people sprinkle names naturally into conversation, creating micro moments of belonging. Rule 12. Reveal vulnerability. This one surprises people. Isn't charisma about being strong, polished, untouchable? No, charisma comes alive when you let your guard down. Share that you bombed your first speech. Admit you forgot your lines once. Laugh at yourself. Vulnerability doesn't weaken you, it makes you relatable. And relatability is the bridge that turns admiration into trust. Connection is the glue of charisma. When people feel seen, heard, and valued, they don't just remember your words, they remember you. But here's where it gets even more powerful. Charisma isn't just about bonding with people. The highest form of charisma is when you step into leadership, when others look to you for direction, strength, and hope. That's when presence becomes influence. In times of chaos, true charisma shines brightest through leadership. Charisma reaches its highest voltage in moments of uncertainty. Think about history's most magnetic figures, leaders in times of crisis. When chaos surrounds them, when everyone else is unsure, they radiate calm, clarity, and conviction. That's when charisma stops being just likable energy and becomes something greater. Leadership. Rule 13. Own the room. Leadership charisma begins the moment you enter a space, not by being the loudest, not by demanding attention, but by carrying the quiet certainty that you belong. Picture Winston Churchill during World War II. His presence wasn't flashy. It was steady, grounded, inevitable. When you walk in, don't ask yourself, "Do I deserve to be here?" Walk in as if the room has been waiting for you. Rule 14. Speak for others. A true leader's charisma is amplified, not hoarded. It's easy to spotlight yourself, but charisma grows when you reflect light onto others. Imagine a manager saying, "This project succeeded because Sarah pushed through late nights and Jane solved the toughest problems." Instantly, the room feels seen. Charismatic leaders raise others up and in doing so, rise higher themselves. Rule 15. Stay calm under pressure. Crisis is the ultimate charisma test. When others panic, charismatic leaders slow their breathing, ground their voice, and bring stability. Picture a pilot during turbulence. If the captain's voice wavers, the whole cabin spirals. But if the captain speaks steady, ladies and gentlemen, everything is under control, suddenly hearts calm. Charisma in pressure is contagious calm. Rule 16. Radiate optimism. Not blind positivity, not sugarcoating, but an authentic belief that the future can be better. Nelson Mandela, even after decades in prison, radiated hope instead of bitterness. That optimism didn't deny reality, it reshaped it. Charisma shines brightest when it turns fear into courage. Leadership charisma is a paradox. It's strength without arrogance, confidence without domination, optimism without naivety. People follow leaders not because they are perfect, but because they steady the storm and point toward a horizon worth walking toward. But here's the twist: leadership charisma fades quickly if it ends when you leave the room. The most powerful charisma outlives your presence. It lingers in memory, in impact, in legacy. And that is where the final chapter of our journey takes us. Charisma doesn't end when you leave the room, it lingers as your legacy. Picture this: the event is over, the meeting has ended, the crowd has gone home. Yet people are still talking about you. They replay your words, they remember your presence, they quote your lines to their friends. That's when charisma transcends the moment, it becomes legacy. And the final 4 rules are about making your charisma echo long after you've left the room. Rule 17. Leave people better than you found them. Think about the encounters that stuck with you. Maybe a stranger gave you a genuine compliment on a bad day. Maybe a mentor encouraged you at the exact moment you were ready to quit. Those moments linger. Charismatic people aim to uplift in every interaction. It doesn't need to be dramatic. Sometimes a smile, a kind word, or listening deeply is enough to shift someone's entire day. Rule 18. Be consistent. Nothing kills charisma faster than inconsistency. If you're warm one day and cold the next, people can't trust you. True charisma isn't a performance you switch on, it's a presence you live. Think of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Whether he's in an interview, a film, or meeting a fan on the street, the same genuine energy radiates. That consistency builds reliability, and reliability builds magnetism. Rule 19. Create unforgettable moments. Want to know why certain people live in our memory? They break the script of normal life. A handwritten note instead of a text. Remembering someone's story and bringing it up months later. Giving a small but meaningful gift. These moments don't require wealth or power, they require thoughtfulness. And thoughtfulness turns ordinary encounters into legendary ones. Rule 20. Align words with actions. This is the crown jewel of charisma. You can have posture, voice, storytelling, connection, even leadership. But if your actions betray your words, charisma dies instantly. Integrity is magnetic. When people know that what you promise is what you deliver, your presence carries unshakable weight. Charisma without integrity is manipulation. Charisma with integrity is legacy. And here's the ultimate truth: charisma isn't about spotlighting yourself. It's about making others feel brighter in your presence. When people leave you feeling stronger, more hopeful, and more capable than before, that's when charisma transforms into lasting influence. That's when your presence becomes unforgettable. So as you step forward, remember your charisma isn't measured by the number of eyes watching you in the room. It's measured by the number of hearts that remember you long after you're gone. And that, my friends, is how charisma doesn't just attract success, it creates it. So there it is, the 20 rules of charisma that instantly attract success. But let me leave you with this: charisma is not about being born special. It's about building habits that make you unforgettable. And if you're serious about unlocking the kind of presence that draws opportunities, relationships, and success to you like a magnet, then you belong here. Hit subscribe right now and step into this journey with me. Because here at 22 Win, every rule is another weapon in your arsenal. This is more than a channel. It's your training ground for greatness. And remember, charisma isn't found. Charisma is forged. And the next chapter of your success starts with one choice: the choice to stay.